Get those shares going. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Craft Talk. We'll be starting soon. Just got to do our stuff here.
It's Friday night. Can you believe it?
Sound off, everybody. Let us know who you are as you're signing on.
See here. Yay, yay, yay. Woohoo. I'm so excited. It's Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah,
Doing a party.
Yeah.
Survey, you're a little excited. Why is
I
that?
am excited. We have a really cool guest tonight. I am so excited.
We get all the best guests.
I know we do, but I'm extra excited because this is one of my really good friends. I'm so excited.
We want to have some of my friends are all, no.
And I just can't hide it. You know. I know. I want you. Let's see. Share it with everyone, guys.
Share. Don't you hate it when you're typing and then you just look up and you went, oh, I hit caps lock.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm sharing it here. And I'm sharing it here. So many places to share.
No kidding.
Share, everyone. You guys make watch parties so that it like spreads the word and then everyone can watch it at the same time.
Watch.
It's kind of fun.
Always fun.
We have a lot of fun in store for tonight. Everyone's so excited, I'm sure. I keep hearing little bloops, bloop. Share. Hello from, let's see who's.
Hello, Joanna Ferguson.
Yay,
from
Joanna.
Los Angeles, California. First one signed on tonight. First of
Yay,
many.
welcome.
Looks like we got 5 people watching so far.
Yay.
I'm 4 of them. No. 2. Wait, 1.
Make sure I select the right Scott.
That would be good.
See here, sharing it here, sharing it there, sharing it everywhere.
Share.
We can maybe make a song about sharing.
I want to share.
Sharing is caring. Let's see.
Hey, who else do we have watching tonight? Looks like we have 11 people so far. Let us know who you are.
Yeah, we have some people. That's pretty cool.
We do. We're up to 12 now.
Cool.
So, Vea, how many computers do you have at your house?
12.
12?
Shh. Don't say anything. You just don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone, okay? Let's see, what time is it? Oh my gosh, it's almost time. 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Do. Can you believe it's already Friday? I feel like every week I just look forward to this Friday.
Well, let me tell you, just sometimes it just seems like there's a little few hours in between and then boom, it's Friday night again.
It's like, yay.
Because you remember all the fun stuff.
I know. How many episodes has it been, James?
We're like 12 or 13.
Yeah. That's craziness.
And on episode 15, Survey will give away a car. Hot Wheels car.
At episode 16, James will be giving away a house.
Yes, I will. It'll be a picture of a house. And I'm going to crumple it up in an envelope and mail it to somebody. Along with a photograph picture of me. So from a joke earlier during rehearsal this evening,
folks. Photograph picture with you doing a blue steel.
Oh no.
In your
anybody that picks up a picture of me doing blue steel will spontaneously combust.
You know what? If anyone got a picture of you doing blue steel, they could print it out. If they mailed it to you, you would sign it and mail it back.
Well, the thing is, whatever I touch it with pen, pencil, fire hydrant, it will bust into flames. A water pen. We'll
Hey,
bust
we
in
have
things.
Rachel. She's with us. Yay.
Hello, Rachel.
She's my pally.
Cool.
And Karen and Wendy, my friend Wendy. I love
Everybody
Wendy.
else, let us know who's watching.
Wendy's my my Hawaiian sister.
Somebody needs to message Vivian. I don't see her on yet. Or is she watching?
I know. I don't know.
What's up,
You know-
Vivian? Come on.
I can't even tell who's watching. Just gonna, I know. Oh my gosh. It's almost time. 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Oh my goodness. It's 2 minutes away. So did everyone like our show last week? Should we do another show like where we have a game like that? It was a lot of fun.
Matter of fact, before we, so we don't forget, if anybody's got anyone that they know that is an outstanding artist in their field, let us know. We'd love to have them as a guest. We're always looking for new guests. We're looking at the long haul here, folks.
Yeah. We've already booked out through August, but.
We're starting to look at September, October.
Aw, Wendy.
Hello, Wendy.
Wendy
Hello,
actually.
Christine Tracy is watching.
Wendy just had a birthday recently, and 1 year. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. We kidnapped her. We like arranged it with Scott, and we kidnapped her, and we brought her to Disneyland for the day.
Which Scott? We know like 20 million.
Our guest Scott.
Yeah, I think it's a rule that every 5th guest we have is named Scott.
I know, right? Maybe we can have a show. Maybe we can have a show of just Scots. And then everyone that's
they all
on
have to
the
wear a
show, they're
kilt?
all Scots.
And talking to Scottish brogue.
Yeah, they're all Scots. Like, this is a Scot. Oh, okay, you guys ever watch the show Kids in the Hall? Do you ever watch that show?
Loved Kids in the Hall.
Okay, you remember how they'd be like, these are the, was it the Deborahs?
I don't know, but I remember one of my favorite was Pinch Your Head, Pinch Your Head.
The guy, what was it? They were like, these are the guys I know. These are the guys I know.
Oh, I'm remembering that. It's coming back.
Or 20 Helens agree. So 20 Scots agree.
Gotcha. All right, we're going to briefly reset the PowerPoint, set our media.
Okay, let's do
Just
it.
briefly here.
Baby Yoda!
Okay, we've reset. Well, Savea, it is 10 o'clock.
It is. Well,
I think it is. Is it time for a countdown?
let's do our countdown.
All right, everyone ready? Countdown with us. Let's go. 10,
10,
9,
8,
7, 6, 5, 4,
4,
3, 2, 1. Let the Friday night fun begin. But first, a word from our sponsor. Hi, my name is Earl, and I'm the spokesman for Quarantinos branded medical supplies from Now Here, Oklahoma. Your #1 medical supplier for non-necessary medical supplies from small town America. Are you afraid of catching one of the many infectious diseases during this pandemic that may cause pandelirium? Are you looking for a face mask that can serve multiple roles, just like a multitasking tool such as duct tape or a Leatherman pocket tool? If so, you can minimize your exposure for catching an infectious disease and do household chores around your home with Quarantinos brand banana masks. With Quarantinos banana masks, you can visit the bank, go shopping at the grocery store, and ride safely on a passenger airplane because you're wearing your banana mask. Be sure to order your very own Quarantinos banana mask. Wait, why does that say bandana mask? Why am I wearing a banana when this says bandana? Who messed this up? Y'all going to talk to my manager, publicist, accountant, or promoter, my wife, Bubba Fina. What? Okay, just finish it? All right. Quarantinos brand bandana masks. Great for household chores, fashion statements, and spreading communicable diseases. Or not spreading communicable diseases. I misread. And ooh boy, they smell like fresh bananas. And I wonder why that is. It's time for Late Night Craft Talk with hosts Abea Kamori Yang and James Hermes. This week's special guest, Scott Remmers, past owner of Brea Beadworks. I'm sorry to announce that there's no soft drinks or popcorn available in the lobby, so you'll have to go to your fridge for a drink and pop your own popcorn in your microwave. It's time to start the show. How you doing, Savea?
Wait, James,
What?
why are you wearing a banana? It's a bandana.
I kind of walked out from that, but I saw there was Quarantinos was sponsoring a bandana mask, so I went ahead and decided to just grab this thing and put it on because it came in there like the boxes of stuff we're supposed to promote for the week from Quarantinos.
But it's
What did I miss?
It's supposed to be a bandana, not a banana.
Did their promotional guy mess up again? All right. Well, so much for that. I'm going to eat this a little later. All right. Well, we don't have somebody. I got to just tell y'all keep a secret, but the guy for the promotional guy that gives out the products that tells us what to promote for the week or runs the commercials. He's not the brightest bulb in the pack. And he's kind of panicky. So that's what we have. All right. Savea. We don't have drawing prizes this week, or drawing prize for trivia winners.
Yeah, we don't because we had a wild, crazy show last week.
That was so fun. All these people on the treasure hunt or the scavenger hunt was a great cap. And then all these people were singing Brady Bunch at the end of the show. That was just great.
It was a lot of fun. I definitely want to do that again.
Oh, we are definitely doing it again, folks.
So hard at just everyone being silly was so much fun.
Yeah, folks, we're looking at doing this in a couple more months. We're going to make it a thing we do every so often. It's going to be cool. But we got a few changes for the show tonight, just different things. I'm going to shake it up, just going a little bit in the format.
Yeah.
But with that, how you doing?
Doing good. Actually, this week, even though we have the rise in the levels of the cases, we decided we are allowing a few people in. We're actually only letting in 2 appointments a day and spacing them out. And each person that comes in, we're going to sanitize. We have them wash their hands and all that, and then sanitize after they leave. And so then there's enough of a span between. So it's been really great. All of our appointments have been filling up, which is pretty crazy. Awesome. And for those who really need to come in and see the beads, they can actually come in and see them. And so a lot of people are really happy.
What are you going to do if, like, you know, Pigpen from the Peanuts, Charles Schultz, Charlie Brown, all that, Snoopy? You know who Pigpen is?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What if he booked an appointment in the store? Because, in the comics where he's walking around, there's like little circles and dust and waves and stuff in the comics to show that, a Dyson vacuum cleaner would bust and they wouldn't honor the warranty if he's walking around.
2 hours between each episode, appointment. So it would give us 2 hours to clean up after that person.
Gotcha. I want to look at their hands. Their hands would be all clean, but the rest is not. Okay.
Yeah. So James, how has this last week been at Elk Rack Traders?
We're doing a show again. I am showing on Saturday mornings at the Sky Mall Market on Yucca Valley, California in the mornings. It's just fun to go out there. I went out, checked out last Sunday, enjoyed talking to people. I'm just going to come out here and set up on Saturday mornings. Just some do. I miss the shows. I miss the rodeos. I was supposed to be a rodeo tonight originally. Obviously, now we're here, but that's the case with everyone this year. But I want to show some feathers I painted. Cool. These are custom orders. These are not going to be on the website, but I got asked to paint some feathers for a group called Soldiers for Salmon.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it's a group that helps soldiers with PTSD, whatnot. And they, go fishing for salmon. I just learned that piece about it with the fishing. And they're a bit located out of Washington State, but they're doing a general fundraiser, a silent auction fundraiser, and these amongst the items where I painted their logos. And I didn't have time to get pictures up to post it, so I'm just showing the camera. But painting their logo onto the feathers with the kind of a USO logo with the salmon in front, that ain't easy. That's the fletching. There's no paint on that surface. That was a lot of fun. But one of the things they also had me do was one of the salmon, and kind of a Northwest Coast style salmon. I really like the way that came out. There's a lot of subtle details. You can catch a lot on the camera. But
I really like it.
That I am digging at. I mean, this is one of those projects I looked at going, that's cool. Did a lot of it yesterday. Just did some touch-ups this morning. I'm just going to do the leather work, and really looking forward to getting that to them and being able to raise money for Soldiers for Salmon on that. But that and just getting some stuff, show in the morning, and working on stuff for business. That's what we've been doing.
Isn't it cool?
Hold
when
on.
you make something?
What's that?
Isn't it cool when you make something and you're like, wow, I made that?
And yeah, absolutely. And the fact that it could go for such a great cause to benefit other people so directly like that is awesome. But I'm just, hold on, I'm just message. So did you just get the email from promo guy from Quarantinos?
Oh, wait, let me check. Oh, yeah.
You're CC'd on this. Okay. Well, apparently, yeah, there's a little, apparently the promotional guy is wanting us to, because there was a little mess up with their commercial on a product mix up, apparently we have to promote some things from Quarantinos. You ready?
Yeah.
I still think you personally a little mixed up, but we're obligated here. So
yeah,
folks, bear with us.
Quarantino sponsor really happy.
Yeah, so folks, bear with us. You see what it is. Let me get it loaded up on the screen right here on my end. All right, folks, this is what we're looking at. Okay. We want to take turns on this, Savera, or what?
Sure.
Okay. First off, I'll take the first one. Okay, folks, first we have Quarantino's party products. If you're stuck in quarantine and you want to have a party, don't forget Quarantino's party products. Party hats, streamers, little things.
Hygienic ones.
Huh?
Hygienic ones.
Hygienic ones. So remember, if you have to, we're reading the script right here. If you're stuck in quarantine, want to have a party, remember Quarantino's party products. And your turn.
Okay, so this is the Quarantino circuses. Social distance seating. So they have every 3 rows, there is one person, and they're at least over 6 feet away. And then you have to sit over 6 feet away. So they only fit about 10 people in one tent. Super, super social distance safe. Quarantino circuses. And that guy, I don't know what's with that guy. He's like,
I don't know. I think he's a doorman. Quick shout out to Jose Bear Galagos, Wendy Hodge, who joined us. Welcome. Okay. Next one is Quarantino's amusement parks. If you're stuck in home because of quarantine, can't go out, remember Quarantino's amusement parks. You notice there's some blank spots in that little twirly thing, twirly thing.
The social distance. That's
Keep
good.
the social distance. You ready? And
Quarantino's cruise lines, where you have I can't even imagine going on a cruise right now. It'd be terrible.
You're bashing our sponsor. We need them to pay our stuff we do.
It's the best cruise ever. They have plenty of social distancing activities like trivia on deck 10 and about 12 feet away. And they're using a megaphone to tell you what the questions are. And then they don't have a buffet. They put all your food in a little baggie, just so you don't eat all of the food and then, touch it and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't forget, if you're home and want to learn a new musical instrument, don't forget the underrated accordion. Remember Quarantino's accordions. And with that, we also have some other products here. Oopsie on this guy, the promotional guy. We also have Quarantino's brand bandana chips.
Yes.
Bandana bread.
Yes.
And bandana scent fresheners.
Yes.
I think they're still a little confused. Huh?
Varieties of colors and paisley print and solids.
Yes. So we have that out of the way. Wow, we got all that corporate stuff we got to do, but
it's a lot of products. I mean, I don't know if they're really properly marketing them. I mean, you think that they would maybe think and have plans on how they're going to put all this stuff together, advertise all these things,
and double check and double check their work and their spelling on the products, so they're not mixing up this and this.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
They should definitely pay attention to that. I have a really good friend that might be a really good advice giver for anyone who's watching who has a small business or they're building up their business during the quarantine.
Yeah.
I think that we have someone that's really a great person to soundboard off.
Is he this week's special guest?
Maybe. Is he maybe Scott?
I think so. Let's introduce. Ladies and gentlemen, this week's special guest, Scott Remmers, past owner of Brea Beadworks. Come on, Scott. Hey, Scott.
Scott, come and visit us. Come chat.
Unmute the camera.
Chat, 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 chat.
And well, so while we're waiting for Scott to come over, apparently went to the fridge to go get a drink, or quite possibly maybe saving the world. Oh, that's Scott.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Scott, hello.
Had to pay the
How
bills.
you doing? I miss you. He's my buddy.
Yeah.
Him and
Not
Wendy.
Southern California anymore. You can see it's the arch.
I know.
St. Louis.
You're missing another one to make it McDonald's.
That's right.
You could just
That or
like
it's a
blur
big-
your picture.
Unless you had like big crochet, croquet ball, you can knock
Oh,
them
yeah.
across.
Yeah.
Like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Just get through. Hedgehog. With a flamingo puck.
Yeah. That'll work.
Hey,
Gotcha.
so I like your background. I like that it's purple. I appreciate that. That makes me
So-
happy.
You're the purple queen. Yes.
Nice, nice. So, Scott, tell us about yourself. Tell us what makes you this awesome one. You're very humble, but I'm saying, tell us about your background on how you started in the business world.
Oh gosh. Goes back, business world, anywhere from out of college by being managers at various retail stores to sports radio marketing, theater marketing. I was with AMC Theaters for a long time in marketing and advertising. And that's one reason why I moved from St. Louis to Los Angeles, Orange County, and worked out there with AMC Theaters for 10 plus years. And then I got into the corporate marketing side. And after about a half a dozen years with that, then my wife, Wendy, and we opened Brea Beadworks there in Brea, California. Yep. Just north of your favorite place, Savea, just
I
north
know.
of Disneyland. And we had that for 15 years and being a brick and mortar retailer, and sole owner, that really, you wear all the hats, just like everybody's doing in their business. Check mix. Yeah. Just being the sole owner is if you're, anybody that's a sole owner, you're going to wear all the hats in the group. And we got lucky because my wife's a great graphic designer and great creative person, along with being a great business person too. But my side was more the business side, and I learned the crafting business. Being that sole owner and being in the bead business, even the handcraft business, it's such a niche market that you really have to learn how to do it all, whether that's customer service, whether that's employee relations, whether it's, learning social media. Because when we started Brea Beadworks in 2002, Facebook was just about coming around.
Mhm.
And now, now you have Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok, and all these things, so it just really, a lot of it's hands-on learning and a lot of it, I read a lot, listen to a lot of seminars, things like that. And so, and then we started with you, Savea, the Southern California Local Bead Store Association, which I think when we started, we probably had 30 something members, and
It's crazy.
unfortunately over time things change but it was just an opportunity to come together with other store owners, other business owners, other artists to understand what was going on out in the business world. And that's what we really wanted to do, was hear what they were doing, what we thought, because we all come from different backgrounds. We all come from, whether it's an arts and crafts background or a business background, or we've got people from the corporate world. We've got people that have, done the arts and crafts shows all their life. So we learned a lot. Definitely, we thought we knew, you know, this, but we really only knew about that, you know, when we started the business, and over time, then, you know, we just helped other bead store owners and other business owners, you know, what was going on. You know, we had a lot of retailers by our store there in Brea that I helped with and still do. And so, yeah, my background's really in marketing, advertising, but also the operations of a business.
Mhm.
So I understand what it takes to run the business, but also what it takes to get it promoted and
Yeah.
advertised, and it's always changing, which I'm sure we'll talk about down the line.
Yeah. So like a lot, one of the purposes that we do of this have of the show is we're trying to not only we entertain, you know, because we're being silly and having fun and get to visit people, like we get to hang out with you, and it's kind of a nice way to kind of bring people forward that we know to share information that is really beneficial to our viewers. Like, so say that I know that you know, because you when you were in Brea at Beadworks, a lot of the customers buy the beads and they make projects and they sell their projects. So they're making, it's like a supplier for a small home business or small cottage industry business. And so what kind of things would you suggest for anyone who's starting to do that kind of business, especially in this quarantine right now? Like any ideas that you could recommend on getting started?
Well, it goes a couple ways. I mean, you know, a lot of the people that sell at the arts and craft shows or consignment stores or whatever, you know, they're sort of always like, you know, I'm going to sell this. Let's just use an easy number. I'm going to sell it for $10. And you're like, really? $10? How much did it cost you to make? You know, so there's a couple different ways to look at your pricing. Pricing's a big thing, but
Pricing.
I
Pricing,
think,
people. Pricing.
yeah, I mean,
big bold letters. Pricing.
We've
that's
run
so
across.
subjective too.
Yeah, oh yeah, we've run across. You know, you could work. I'll go back. We ran into a lot of people that said, all I want to do is make enough money to repurchase product, you know, because I like making it, but I'm just making enough money to buy more, you know, to cover my cost. Well, unless you won the lottery the other night, you know, why are you doing that? You need to make money. And we can talk about, you know, what are you going to make per hour? What are you going to make on the product? What should your markups be? You know, when you talk about markups, you talk about the margins, you talk about the perception value of a product, you know, because the perception can be 2-3 times higher than what you're selling it for, because people are perceiving that it's a very valuable piece to them. But I always go back to the planning stage, sitting down, whether it's on a napkin or a ruled piece of paper or whatever, and plan your business out in such a way that you, sort of like your Bible moving forward, you're always going to refer back to your plan. I'm going to do this at this period of time. In 2 months, I'm going to do this. 3 months, I'm going to do this. And you put financial numbers to it as well. And I think that's, I mean, we always joke, Wendy and I, my wife, we always joke about how we got into the bead business is, you know, we said, you know, how much money do you want to make? And you sort of start at that point and you say, okay, I want to make, I don't know, we'll use $50,000 a year just as a number. Well, if it's $50,000 and your average piece, whether it's jewelry or quilts or a painting or whatever, let's say your average is $50 on that product. So you have to sell 1,000 of those pieces to make $50,000 in revenue. We're not talking about profits or anything. So 1,000 pieces, but each piece will take you, let's say, 5 hours to make. So that's 5,000 hours that you've got to figure out how to get that 5,000 hours made up, because you may have a full-time job, you may have kids, you may have a social life that you want to do things on the weekends, you know. So where are you going to come up with all those hours to make that much product?
So that's like 96. That's 96 hours a week, by the way.
You think anything, 80-hour work weeks are nuts. Imagine 2 full-time jobs with 40 hours a week. So that helps put it in perspective.
Yeah, I mean, and that's sort of a simple way to look at it, and just say, how can I accomplish that? Now, some people will hire people or friends or family, relatives, whatever, will help them get there. But then you got to look at it and say, am I the brand? Am I the artist of those pieces? Do I want to so-called mass produce it with my friends and family? Then you got to deal with, does the quality of it go down? And that's why people buy your pieces usually, is because it's made by you, the artist. You have a story to tell, behind that. So, and then once you say, okay, it's so many hours, then you look at your pricing and if it's, you got to, being from the jewelry side, the bead side, you have to account for everything. Your stringing material, your little crimp beads, all your beads, your gemstones, your crystals, whatever you have, and you come up with a cost. And that cost has to be then 3 to 4 times a markup, usually, to make a profit, because you have to consider all the things that you bought, your tools, if you're renting a place, if you have electricity, you've got to buy other things to make that product, all your, what you would call your cost of doing business. And that's why you need 2 or 3 times, if not 4 times the markup. And again, it depends on your price point. If your cost is $20 and you're selling it for $100, you're making $80 in profit. I'd rather sell a lot of those than a piece that I make for $2 and I sell for 10, because I'm making more money, more what they call margin dollars. You're making more margin dollars than you are percent markup. And I can go in the, chalkboard all that out and show everybody, but you just have to figure out your pricing, and you ask around to your friends and family, what would you pay for this pottery? What would you pay for this quilt? And you get a good feeling, if they're being truthful with you, you're going to get a good idea of what that value is. And sometimes it is, you'll look at a piece of jewelry and it costs you $5, and you normally sell it for $20, but somebody says, wow, I spent $30 or $40 for it. And so that's where that perception comes in, and value. But the planning is really the important part. Plan your pricing, know your pricing. Also, if you're a wholesaler, if you want to wholesale, figure out your wholesale pricing and have that ready to go, because people may come up to you at an arts and crafts show and say, oh, I have a boutique in, San Francisco. What's your wholesale pricing? And if you sit there and go, oh, I don't know, what would you pay for this? How many do you want? Tell them, if you buy $500, you get 10 pieces. You'll be able to keystone this or double that in your store. My policy is 30%, or not 30%, 30-day payments, or, if you pay now, you get 10% off, So you have to have your wholesale policy ready to go, because wholesale is a great way to go, because you're selling mass quantity of your goods versus those onesies and twosies that will take you, longer time to get to. And by then you're getting more customers by going into the boutiques, consignment stores, the art shops, museum galleries, things like that.
That would be a natural evolution of business a lot of people would go to, but most people that start the craft work don't get to that point. They're wholesaling stores, or they'll dabble in it. Most will shoot themselves in the foot, my experience. But if you don't mind, if we may, let's walk this conversation back a little bit, and talk about how artists can establish themselves. Because don't look at me strange when I say this, but those with the, a lot of people, when they look at cool. A lot of people, when they say that, they look at the corporations, say, oh, it's just manless, humanless corporations. No, there are corporations that have best practices when it comes to the nitty gritty of goal setting, because they have to stay in business to employ people. And that's where a lot of people don't realize where they can learn so much from a corporate practice.
Yes.
in a corporate promotion
Why I
or
was like,
whatnot.
"You have
Because there's a
so-"
lot of refined ideas in the process to
Mhm.
vet the bad from the good. And there's a lot of learning experience from that too. And I've always been highly appreciative of those in the corporate world that also have that experience. So if we can walk it back to a setting where a lot of people are in the position that they're having to wear all the hats as manager, promoter, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of them are having to put themselves on the internet of what they can do step by step based on your experience that you can offer. What questions they need to ask themselves if they want to start doing the business now or having to transition to a new business model now because of the quarantine.
Yeah, the quarantine things are so different now.
Yeah, I guess one of the questions, and I always say this to people, is what's the intent of you making your art, your craft? Is it to sell a few pieces, make a few bucks? Is it to make a name for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Is it to go widespread? And that will give you an idea of the direction that you need to go. If it's just a little thing that you're just trying to make a little cash and you really love what you're doing and you just want to make 5 pieces a week or a month, that will give you an idea of how much time and energy you're going to go into it. It's very tough to get into this because I always tell people you got that, going back to that plan. The plan is really important because nobody wants to waste their time and energy and money into thinking they can get to a certain level just because they thought it through or their friends say, oh, you're so good at that, you should go into business. Because 3 out of 5 businesses fail within their first 5 years, and the other half will fail in the next 2 years. So the success of running a good business is very slim. And a good business, is that tangible? What dictates a good business? Is it financial? Is it just rewarding to you because it's emotionally and physically a great thing for you? You've got to look at the business too and see what it's going to take out of your business, out of your social life. If you've,
Some of us, it is our social life.
Yeah. Here we are at, midnight in the Midwest talking to you guys. No.
It's a late night craft talk, right?
The corporate side, having a corporate thought process is good, but it can also hinder your creative side. Corporations have policies and branding and is a big keyword in the corporate world. And being on the creative side, you have to realize who you are and what you're trying to transmit in your art. And it's just not your product, it's everything that you do. It's your business card, it's the way you set up your arts and crafts booth at the show, it's the way you respond to people. Are you quick with your response? Is it, and now, we've got social media. Here we are on Zoom, something that wasn't even heard of almost before the virus situation came about. It was there, but it's not as big. I mean, it's bigger now.
It's right time, right place with Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, as I was saying earlier, Facebook 15 years ago was there, but
yeah, it's not like
we sort of
now.
We sort of joke, what was MySpace?
I know, right?
What was that?
Was like the social media.
That was the
thing. Like, no, it's not even on the map anymore. It's kind of
So there's so much that you have to learn as a business owner these days, and so if you're making pottery, jewelry, quilts, painting your feathers, whatever it may be, you don't even think. Well, you have to think about the time you're going to spend invoicing people, getting ready for the arts and crafts shows, learning about how to do a Zoom presentation like this. How do you go on Instagram? How do you do Pinterest? All these things. So you have to spend that time to be good at business these days. Obviously, and hopefully it's a natural thing to do what you're doing in the craft world, but now it's time to get good at the business world, because you can be a great artist and a lousy business person, and you'll fail and you'll wonder why. And I don't know what the percentage is, but I would assume that the percentage is very high on why craft people fail. Because it's a business reason.
I think it's easy to apply, to go ahead and say, was it for every 4 out of 5 businesses you said earlier fails?
Yeah.
I think it's good to go ahead and apply that to artists that try to go into business and do a shop. I've seen a number of shop owners with you, because I've been doing this almost 30 years. A number of shop owners that, artists that open their own store, max 2 years. They're out of business. A lot of times they just burn themselves out because they're not used to that business end. And they don't want to let go. There's somebody that could bring in as a manager for the store if they have the money, or they could bring it in, but they're not wanting to let go of that control either, thinking, well, I can do all this. And that's one thing I like of the corporate world, is that, yes, it can stifle creativity, but it makes you realize things you need to cover, because it covers, focus on that managerial aspects, inventory control, stuff like that the artist may not consider, but makes them think about it.
Right. And the corporate side opens your eyes up to all the cost of doing business, your rent, your utilities, your insurance, all the things that it takes to run a business. And I think going back, I think the networking also in the arts and craft community is so important to, and I think that's one reason, Surveyor could, back us up on this, is that's one reason why we started the Southern California Bead Store Association, was because that majority of ownership loved beading and making jewelry. But when you really sat down and talked to the owners, they were like, what do you mean I have to do payroll? What do you mean I have to pay taxes? What do you mean I'm not making enough money to survive? And so we started talking to each other. And at first, a lot of store owners didn't want to belong to the group because they didn't want to talk about the financial side. Yeah. And we said, we're not going to open your book and say, are you making this much money? Are you making that much profit? It was like, do you do this? Do you do that? And we learned from each other because some were good ideas, some were different. My store was in an area that was maybe a little bit better off than another one, or I came in with money, and opened a store that had a money background. Others opened the store because that was going to be their livelihood. And so they didn't start with a lot, and they grew it over time. So I think the networking with fellow business people is a great thing, because you do learn about the business side.
Patty is like, she's just like loving everything you're saying, Scott.
Oh. Yeah,
it
is. It's I mean, like Surveyor, we'd go out to Disneyland and be standing in line for a ride, and we'd be talking about something, and my head's just, churling and going around in circles with ideas. And she was doing the same, like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, because I took that idea off of your idea. Because not everything works for everybody. But just that creative juices flowing. And that's why I like attending seminars and going to the, I know it's changed now, like AFCI or whatever they go by, but the Craft and Hobby Association was what they went by for a long time. I would attend their seminars, and I'd come back to the store super jazzed because I learned one thing, or it got my mind thinking out of the box. I wasn't in the store, my head wasn't in the books every day. So I'd come out of a networking session going, okay, we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. And then I'd, run the idea by Wendy, my wife, and we'd come up with ideas, because then she had a fresh idea that tagged along with it, and vice versa. She'd have the ideas, and then I'd tweak it a little bit. So it's the networking, it's the friendships.
Absolutely.
And I think that is a very good point, Scott, because the thing is that when you talk to other people, like when you're at a craft fair or craft show or a powwow or whatnot, it's really good to talk to your neighbors and get to know them and say, hey, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And then with like Scott and I, like we both have our own stores, and we've worked together, and we would inspire each other and think of really great ideas. And like that is so true. And then the other thing I was gonna say is everyone thinks that when we have a bead store, that means we get to bead all the time.
No.
That's why we opened it, but it never happened.
And we're like, wow. Well, I mean, it is true. I mean, I have like a, 40-foot bead wall that I have, like, if I wanted to do a project, I mean, I could go and take those pieces and, take them out of inventory, of course, but you make samples for the store and stuff. And this is so much fun. I don't get to do too much of that because I'm often working on other things that we have to do. And that is so true. It's so true. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're working in the business a lot versus working on the business. And Wendy and I were invited out to powwows with Savea and Chris and opened our eyes up to so many different ideas that we could do, or because we had fresh eyes on what a powwow is all about. We'd say, hey, Savea and Chris, what about this? Are you guys doing that? This is a good idea. And if they took it or not, at least they were thinking about ideas and taking it in from somebody that never attended a powwow. And boy, that energy flow was pretty valuable. I mean, it really was. And it's, just again, you got to love what you do, have a plan. This month I'm going to do so many shows, or I'm going to talk to so many consignment stores, or just have a written plan. You can always go back and change it. It's not.
That's good advice.
Whatever business plan's got to be, it's got to be really flexible.
Yeah.
And willing to learning. Definitely be willing to. Don't blame anybody else. It's only yourself to blame. Learn from your mistakes, and go with it. A lot of times, people are going to make mistakes.
I taught classes on starting your own jewelry business and things like that. And I always told them, and I had it for our store, was whether you call it a diary or a business booklet calendar. And I would write down, oh, this was a good show. We had a good show. The weather was this, the weather was that. Our location was here. Our location was there. Next year I would do this, or next year I would do that. Or I knew the weather a lot. I could go back and look at the weather and project what the business was going to be like. I knew what our sales were this week versus this week last year. So you keep a little diary of your business. So if a show comes up again, you could look at it and go, look, I made $1,000 at that show. Was that good or bad? And I can sign up again. Don't go by your gut feeling going, I think that was good if I remember right. I can't remember stuff that happened yesterday sometimes. So by having a little diary of your business failures and success is a good way to go about it as well. But just have a plan, have an idea of what your financials are going to be, whether you can survive or not. And it's not to scare you by doing this plan. Like we said, it's going to take you 1,000 hours of your time. It's not to scare you out of the doing business. It's just to set reality and saying, how am I going to achieve that? So maybe I just back down my aggressive look, or maybe it's not aggressive, but maybe it just gives you an idea of where you stand. So the likelihood of failing then is dropped quite a bit when you have plans, when you have goals, when you have ideas. And who would have thought 3 months ago your retail store or your arts and crafts shows or your powwows would be shut down? Nobody would have thought that. So maybe in your plan, you have plan B. If, like Savea said, they're not open for retail now, but what have they done? They do appointments. Their internet has picked up, their Zoom, all these type of things. And, Wendy and I said, if we would have still had Brea Beadworks, what would we have done? And we said, we'd probably be working harder now with the store closed to survive, and coming up with those new things and new ideas. But now it's really more important to have plan B in place saying, this is what I need to do. If,
Internet presence now. Scott, what do you think about internet presence?
oh, it's a must.
Absolutely.
Social, whether it's, whether you're good at Facebook and that's all you do, or maybe you dabble in Instagram and Pinterest and, all these different things, the Zoom classes now on Zoom or Skype or whatever, however we're going to do it. You have to know the internet now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, being a retailer, I was strong about brick and mortar. I'm still a strong believer in brick and mortar, but you have to have the internet.
Diversity in the income streams, not just a brick and mortar. You have
becoming with so many we specifically, because of Savannah's background, we specifically look at powwows, and look at rodeos, and powwows can do both circuits. And when you say brick and mortar, I'm thinking canvas and tables and easy ups and awnings and stuff like that, which is the mobile brick and mortar. And having to do that, there's so many artists now, so many that are having to go from brick and mortar to, right now in the height of show season, they'd be working on their stock, working on their product. Now they're having to reestablish a lot of cases and work on business instead of product, and probably putting more time in now than when they first started doing, native markets, art markets, whatnot. And I think that's just a really interesting way to put it, that they're having to learn a whole new scale of business on the business itself instead of on the product.
Mm-hmm.
My time split up between mornings is working on, product, and the afternoons is all on the computer, filming, shooting pictures, updating websites, putting out promotionals. And, that's the other half of the day.
Yeah. You got to be flexible.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to move and think on your feet. If you were strictly a brick and mortar retailer, you had four walls, your product in there, you were relying on people to come into your store day in, day out. And you just said, let's say you just had a web page, a static web page. And then 3 months ago, the virus hits. Mm-hmm. Just imagine how much work you'd have to do, get caught up to do an e-commerce site, more activity on social media. You're behind the 8 ball. So why not start doing these things now? If you're not doing them now, start learning, start moving that direction, because it will happen. I'm not saying the brick and mortar is going to close, but you've got to be flexible in what you're doing and learning it. And, it just takes time. It just takes time, because you want good presence in all of those.
Mm-hmm.
And they're changing every day. Facebook changes their algorithms all the time on who gets noticed.
Oh yeah.
You can't keep up with that if you're an individual person. So you've got to read, the blogs, you got to get emails from, whether it's Constant Contact, MailChimp, whoever. You've got to get on those community boards and learn social media. And again, that's time. You're working the full-time job, you're doing the arts and crafts shows. So where are you going to find time to do this? So, I always said, take an hour out on Sunday night or Monday, depending on your job, take an hour out Sunday night before you go to work Monday and learn something new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just read or watch a YouTube video on how to do social media, or, get to a chat room like this and talk to people.
What advice would you have for anybody? Because they're used to doing in-person pitches, talking about their product. What advice would you have for them, since they're now going to having to do a pitch to a face they can't see, being social media or their words?
You just have to, first practice, in the mirror, as they always say,
I keep on cracking mirrors.
Yeah. Just imagine, here we are tonight looking at a little dot on our monitor, talking to a camera. Just imagine that the people out there, and people are listening, and you've got whatever it's going to be on the show tonight, 20, 30 people, whatever it may be, but it will reach thousands. So just be friendly, be talkative, Um, don't be pushy. Just talk to people casually, like they're your friends, and you're having a good time, and you'll build that loyalty with them, and they'll gravitate towards you when you're natural. And yeah, your first video is going to be a challenge to learn it, and you're going to say a lot. You're going to say things that you're like, oh man, I should have said this or that in it. But over time, it becomes natural for you, and if you make mistakes, people will realize that if they're being kind. Yeah, there's the trolls out there that'll have bad things to say about everything that goes on, but generally that people are going to follow you because they believe in you, they trust you, they love your product and your message that you're trying to do, and you just let it flow, and go from there and learn. Like you said, James, just learn from the experience and your good and bad of what you've done, and everything will work out for the best.
I think that was so thorough, your explanation right there, that you ruined my chance to tell a Cal Worthington joke. I was going to say something about be yourself, or what kind of salesman are you going to be, what kind of presence, and you already said be yourself, and now I can't say Cal Worthington and his dog Spot.
But yeah, it's true. And then like even when we started doing the show, James and I, like our first show is like so many technical problems. We're like,
oh, we put together the show in less than 5 days.
It's getting easier for us to do this. And you know what? It's funny. Like Dan will come in and I'm talking to the camera. He's like, you just look like you're just talking to yourself. But the thing is that really, it's like, if you think about it, if you're shy as a person and you're here, you record, doing a video conference or a video live stream, it's kind of easy to think I'm by myself. Like if you're an introvert, are you afraid to be in front of people? Because it's like, you're not really in front of people. If you think about in that mindset, it's like, you're not really in front of people. You're just being yourself around your friends. Like what you're saying, Scott, you're being yourself around friends. And this is
so much easier than standing in front of the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Looking at them, having them looking at you, and you seeing their response. And I think as the joke is, you always go on dating sites and things like that because it's so impersonal. You're just typing who I am to a prospective date or whatever. And it's so easy to do that. And that's what this is. A Zoom is very, very casual, very be yourself, hopefully, and just let the mojo go, and have fun with it.
You have to dress nice from the top up.
I was about to make a gym shorts joke.
Yeah, I'm not going to stand up so you see my Speedo or anything. So.
One of our first shows, we said, "Hey, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? Are you wearing pants or like nice clothes below?" And like we all stood up. We're all wearing gym shorts. We got the nice shirts on. Shorts or flip flops or something, or barefoot. The camera can't see.
I don't know if you know Joe Buck, the announcer. He does football and Cardinal baseball and a lot of other sports, and well-known sports announcer. But he was talking on a TV show the other night, and he did say, he says, if people realize that I was really only wearing a suit and tie and I had shorts on underneath for the last 30 years of broadcasting, you'd probably freak out. But yeah, so many of those people just wear shorts or jeans under their nice dress to appear on TV. So we just don't want, like Savea said, you don't want Dan or somebody walking in the background, with a nude shot or something like that. And,
It's happened. Those Zoom sessions, like
no kidding,
about like the Zoom session problems where say someone is like doing the session and in the background someone like walks through naked, or like John Barrowman. I don't know if you know who he is. He's an actor that was on Doctor Who and Torchwood. He was on the phone, like he was doing like a Facebook Live on his phone. He's like holding his phone and he's talking, and he's talking on his phone, and he's in the hot tub with his husband in Palm Springs, and it's their own personal hot tub. What do people do in the personal? They're naked, right? So he's like talking on his Facebook Live, and his husband got up and did full frontal nudity. And everyone's like, oh. They're like, did we just see that? What? You know, it happens.
Yeah.
So, hey, Scott. So we really had a good discussion. I think that we may, I got an email here saying that Earl wants help with his Quarantinos brand from you.
Let me go find Earl.
Yeah.
Earl.
I'm gonna have to call him. So if you want to go on for a couple minutes, let me give me a few minutes to find Earl, and we'll get him on here, because I know there's some people that definitely want to know more, and they're loving this session with this conversation.
Yes,
so
exactly.
let me go call him. Let me get him up, and I'll do the admin part on Zoom and get him up, because he's over there in Now Here, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I know.
So give me a few minutes.
We should bring him up on camera. That would be really good. Let's.
Yeah, let me get him. We'll get him up on Zoom. So
okay.
Give me a sec here.
So yeah, Scott. Okay, I'm stopping the video. You know, the fun.
It's fun. No,
I thought I stopped the camera. I got to get up and get him.
Okay, so stop the camera and go get him. Good
It
idea?
stopped.
Scott, so how's the weather out in St. Louis? Was it hot today?
Hot and humid, but it always changes every 20 minutes. That's the Midwest for you. The weather is hot, and then it storms and thunder, lightning, and it'll drop to 70 degrees, and then the humidity comes in, and we're back to 90 to 100. But that's the Midwest.
Yeah, it's been getting hot here. I'm like, oh, the AC, and you turn it on, it's too hot outside.
Yeah, it's no, but what I was going to say is if anybody has questions, about their business, or, want some ideas, they can throw them my way. It's just real easy. My address is just my name, Scott Remmers.
So we can put your email address in the details. So it's Scott Remmers.
Yeah, at gmail.com.
Okay, so we'll put that in there so people can email you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Scott, you've always been a really great idea person. I love to bounce ideas off you. So so when Scott lived in town nearby, my mom and I would go to our vendor for the day. We'd do our shopping trip, and we'd come back, and he's like, hey, Scott and Wendy, do you guys want to go get dinner? And so we would meet up with them all the time in Anaheim, and for dinner, we would just talk about all kinds of crazy ideas. And this is where, it's a networking situation. And it was so much fun. That's why I miss Scott and Wendy so much, because we used to always visit with them for dinner on the way home to San Diego.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we were lucky because Wendy was the creative person for our store. And, we had, back in the late 2008, 2009, 2010, we were putting on 110 classes over a 2 or 3 month period. So she's the very creative one. Like I said, she's got the great business mind too, very that goes along with it.
Talented artist.
Yeah, that's for sure. And so by, we got a lot out of it by talking to you and Chris and others. And that goes back to the conversation of just the networking alone is just so valuable. Talking to the same people in your industry and those that are out of the industry really increases your, just your thought process of what your store is doing, or what you're selling, or how to go about it. And you almost get to the point of being overloaded because you're just so involved in the business. You're thinking about the business every day. So yeah, there were times that we had to shut it off and think differently and just sit there in front of the TV and veg out watching a reality show. But when you're around your friends, you do get energized and hyped. And, even we'd go, to a convention or to an arts and crafts show and just walk around and see what other people are doing. And, and seeing how they were putting together their booths or how they were selling, or and that's one of the classes I taught, was how to set up a arts and crafts show and what to look for. And you'd get so much out of it. I mean, just, an afternoon, you'd find something new to create and put in your own business. So it's just thinking every chance you have, think about your business and how you can improve it. And, but know your numbers, know how much you're selling and what your costs are and what your profits are. And that can be a whole Zoom class in itself,
It's true. And the thing is it's nice to also like think about like what you're saying, really kind of develop a plan on what you want to do, what your goals are for a business. And we had Kathy Murillo on Crafty Chica.
Yep.
She was
This thing on.
a few episodes ago.
Is this thing on?
Is this thing on? Okay.
This
I
Earl?
see.
Is that Earl? Hold on a second.
I got a phone call from James asking me to come on to push products.
Oh, Earl.
Yeah, this is Earl. I have to wear a disguise.
Oh, Earl.
I'm Earl, the spokesman for Quarantinos.
Okay.
Allegedly, because I have to wear a disguise. I went to the Piggly Wiggly across town, which is about 3 blocks from my house,
Okay.
on the other side of town, because we're just a small town here in Now Here, Oklahoma, and in between us is the biggest building in town, which is Quarantinos. It's the size of half a Walmart. It's big.
Okay.
But went over the Piggly Wiggly this morning, and my cousin recognized me and says, "Hey, you're the spokesman for that great show."
Oh.
So here I am. Am I on the TV right now?
Yeah, you are.
You sure?
So-
You know it's actually Earl or not? Watch. It's Earl.
Wow. Hey, Earl.
Yes.
So you want us to like try to give you some advice on how to build your social media? Is that what you're asking?
All I got was a phone call saying, "Can you get on the show to talk about this week's sponsor?"
Okay. So Earl, have you ever thought about working on your image?
I don't know about that, but does anybody here drink Pepsi? The taste of a new generation.
No.
You need some more flair like this, Earl.
Oh, good Lord.
Lord.
You're one of those Hollywood people, aren't you?
You
Can I
need
have
some
your
style.
autograph?
Need style.
Well, how do I look? How do I look all awesome like y'all? Well, first of all, let's see just how famous I am outside of Now Here, Oklahoma. Do you recognize Earl now?
Oh, it's Earl.
Earl.
What do you know? My publicist wife, Mrs. Bubba Fina, told me this would work. Y'all thought we were talking Earl. Now you know you're doing it.
So how
So
is
what is-
Bubba?
Do you think I need a better online presence that I might be able to step up from Quarantinos to something bigger, like say Piggly Wiggly?
Scott, what do you think? What's your number one tip to give Earl so that he can improve his Quarantinos brand?
Well, I don't
Be
want to keep on
yourself.
working for the local house. I want to step up.
He wants to be a big corporate.
I want to be the spokesman for Walmart.
You have your Facebook page ready?
I can open it up. Hold on, let me find it. Give me a second
For
here.
his Facebook page.
I heard the book in page. Never mind the title on here. Does this work? You did say
Oh.
Facebook.
Facebook.
Earl,
At what point is
Facebook.
social media coming on? Do I have to
Earl.
learn something here?
you got to work
What am I
hard on
missing?
that Facebook page. You really
You
got
said
to work on it.
Facebook.
Yeah, you just
The thing, people talk about posting. I get my face in the book. Nothing.
yeah, but you
I
got to
told
spend
after you
about
plug in
10
the computer.
hours a day doing that.
Well, what am I missing? What is the first thing I need to learn about the Facebook? Does your face go in the book?
Yeah, your face isn't on the book or on the page. It's called the internet.
Is this like anything like the any key on a computer?
Pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a long conversation with Earl.
Okay, so Earl,
Let's keep it
schedule an
under 5
appointment.
minutes.
Let's schedule an appointment, Earl, with you and Scott. He said you can email him anytime
All right.
and he can give you some really good advice. What do you think,
Does
Scott?
does that mean I have to send a pigeon with the note?
Yes. Send a pigeon to him.
Passenger pigeon?
Yes, send a pigeon which says @Gmail.
Technology is mysterious to me.
Okay, well, I think that if you ask Bubba Fina, she said she's working on your Facebook page right now.
Well, right now she's eating a leg of a turkey. I don't want to bother her right now because she's a little rabid. She hasn't eaten since 10:50,
Okay.
and it's 11:03 now.
Okay. Well,
Bubba Fina's kind of a big woman.
okay.
Lots to love.
Okay. All right, Earl. Well, you want to say goodbye to Scott?
Well, Scott, we'll be talking. Watch out for a pigeon.
Thanks, Earl.
All
He'll be
right.
watching for that pigeon, I think.
If it goes on your car, it's the pigeon's fault.
It's okay. I work for a car wash now, so I'm good.
See? There you go. He's
All of a
just
sudden,
prepared.
I'm thinking the scene from Breaking Bad.
Okay,
All right.
Earl.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back because I got to go back and milk the cow.
Okay. All right. Bye,
The
Earl.
milk's bad at Piggly Wiggly.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I don't want to be recognized when I walk back.
Okay. Yeah, make sure to close the doors.
What's that?
Okay. All right, good. Okay, now you can
What's
go.
the door?
It's to your left.
Oh, the thing with glass.
Yes, yes.
I tried to make a joke about jumping out the window, but apparently it went not over your head because I don't know. I'm running out. I'm going to go back to.
It's too
I'm gonna
late.
Go back to the
Too
field.
late at night.
Yeah.
Maybe out of that building there.
It's too late.
Okay. I'm bombing. I'm going to leave
Okay.
now.
Okay, bye, Earl.
Bye. I can shut off my own camera this time.
Okay.
Watch. You changed my name back.
Nice to have a
Yeah.
visit by Earl.
Earl is quite the character, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes. Let's see, I'm changing this.
Yeah, change the name back to James because I was going to do that. Then I came and went, look, Savea thought ahead of time. If I look a lot like Earl, it's coincidence.
It's a coincidence.
Quinky dinky.
Well, he's got blue eyes. I got hazel.
We had that thing that we had ready
Yes.
for Scott. So we're going to do a fun game with Scott.
I think we're going to do, since we were talking about corporate branding and whatnot, makes me wonder, is it Coke or is it Pepsi? Are we ready for this?
Yes.
Let's go
All right.
for it.
So, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to play a game called Is It Coke or Pepsi Coke?
Okay.
And what we're going to do is I'm going to show the phrase from a classic Pepsi or Coke, branding promotion. And it's just going to say that just the slogan, and you got to guess, is it Pepsi or is it Coke?
Okay.
So I'll let you work it out. Let's see. We'll start with Savea first. And if she gets it wrong, we'll go to Scott and then vice versa for the next one.
Okay.
All right. So first one is things go better with blank. Savea,
Coke.
what do you say, Scott?
Coke.
Coke. It is Coke. Things go better with Coke.
They do.
All right. Next question.
Tacos. Burritos, pizza.
Thirst asks nothing more. Is it Savea? Is it Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi.
Scott, what you say ye?
I'd go Pepsi.
Pepsi? All right. It is Coke.
Oh!
Thirst asks nothing more. All right, next one. Joy it forward. Is it Pepsi or is it Coke, Savea?
Pepsi.
And Scott, joy it forward. Is it Pepsi or Coke?
Yeah, I got to go Pepsi.
Got to go Pepsi?
Joy to the world.
Joy it forward. Pepsi. Okay. Next one. Taste the feeling. Savea, Pepsi or Coke?
I think that's Coke.
Coke? Scott?
Coke.
Okay. We're both Coke. It is Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. All right, just a couple left here for everybody. Happiness is a choice. Savea, Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Scott, Coke or Pepsi?
I'm going Coke.
Going Coke? Savea says Pepsi. Scott says Coke. It is Pepsi. All right.
Just so you know. Hashtag.
Just so you know. Okay. More bounce to the ounce. Savea, Coke or Pepsi?
I say Coke.
Say Coke, Scott. More bounce to the ounce. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke. Ah,
Pepsi.
wow, don't remember that one.
Pepsi Cola. All right. I believe we have one more here.
What year was that more bounce to the ounce from?
From the style there, that looks like 70s or 80s.
Because like there was a song, more bounce to the ounce.
Yeah. Well, I know that you drink too much soda. You're going to definitely put on more than ounces. Look like Earl's wife. Okay. One more. Open happiness. Savea, Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Coke? Okay. Scott, open happiness. Coke or Pepsi?
Oh, that's a tough boy. I'll go Coke as well.
Okay. It is Coke. Was that, did I get the right one there? Yeah. All right. So that should be the last one. Yep. End.
Yay.
And that's what we got. So we are officially getting into overtime here for the show.
Okay, so you all can more than likely guess this one. Who don't squeeze the
Charmin.
correct.
I was going to say M&M's.
But you know when the last time that slogan was used?
No. How long has it been?
Almost 30 years ago. That's how strong a brand message is. Oh, that's how old you are? You're only 30? Well, that's pretty good.
No.
I'm 29.999. 99.
Yeah, don't squeeze the Charmin was over 30 years ago, or just about 30 years ago now.
That is
Well, just
really
look at like
impressive.
MasterCard, how long they said. What do they have for the longest time says don't leave home without it?
Yeah.
And still calls follow them around. But, you know, a really strong sign of corporate branding for anybody that remembers it. Where's the beef?
Wendy's.
Wendy's.
Totally.
That's still bouncing around.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy like how like, you know, when I was in school, I got a minor in marketing, and they were talking about all of the taglines and talking about how these different things that just it brands the item. It's really interesting how we all remember all these things, you know, about all these brands, and it's just like, you know, how many, I don't know.
And you change with the times. I mean, obviously those taglines there were meant for that time. You know, you go back to Morton Salt and look at the logo that they have of the girl with the raincoat and the umbrella, and look at those logos. They've changed over time, and that's sort of what we go back to is being flexible and being current, and don't stick with your same product. Create new product. Be an inventor. Be somebody that's looking, you know, a year or two down the line, and look at trends that are happening. You know that fashion trends start in Europe and come here, but craft trends start here and go to Europe.
Oh, that's really cool.
Interesting.
So read your magazines and your books and your internet sites from overseas, because you'll learn things that are taking place over there that may work here now, or maybe it's too far in advance, you know, because, you know, it sort of goes from the East Coast to the West Coast a lot of times on trends. And so you want to look at all your different websites, your magazines and things like that, and figure out what's going on out there in the world that may be a new trend, and be the first on that wave. You if you can catch that wave at the beginning, you're much better off than catching it at the end and then being left with a lot of inventory or trying to catch up with somebody. So be the leader and not the follower.
So does that mean I was bad to spend $10,000 on Beanie Babies 2 years ago?
I just bought 1,000 pound of rocks. I was going to come up with this idea that you'd have pet rocks. I think I'm a little behind on that trend.
You know,
Or
one of
cards?
it's even like one of the things that's been really popular with the native crowds. They've been doing the earrings with these little resin stones, like these resin stones.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Like a lot of the natives have been using these to make these really cool earrings and these different beaded projects. And this is like, that's like one thing that's interesting. It's like I see it in the native community and I'm waiting to see how it expands. So I think a lot of the ballroom dancers and all the people that are doing all the kind of carnival artwork with the cabajons, they use these as well. But the natives are using them in their jewelry as well. So it's kind of cool to see.
I got a pal joke along this. It's like buying a bunch of yarn expecting to sell it to grass dancers these days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a little behind the times.
Yeah, they don't use
Ribbon
anymore.
Ribbon's so much easier. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna use my new grass dance outfit.
The cross product, using, a lot of people call it the mixed media side, learning what, the quilters were learning about the beading side. So quilters were putting a lot of beads and crystals and gemstones in their designs. Or we were using a lot of, sari or silk ribbon type of things in jewelry making. So, a painter may be able to use something from the bead world or, there's a lot of things that can cross over into your art, your craft. And so be open to those ideas and experiment and see if it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, but you may be onto something.
Yeah.
This could go on all night. The conversation, just learning something from it.
It's just looking at like inspiration. It's like looking for inspiration in other industries to see, how it can be applied to your industry or to your art. And that's an example of like those earrings that I was talking about. Like they're being used in these different industries, and then they're being used in this art field.
Yeah.
So it's like even like the ribbon, like people are taking the ribbon, they're sewing it onto fabric. It's everywhere. And it's even like one of the things that I was doing at my store. I had this little thing that I got. This is a fabric. We ironed it on to a piece of bead foundation and backed it and put crystals on it. So
That's
like,
cool.
this is really multimedia because like this is fabric, this is beading, So it's like there are so many different things that you can do to make new things.
Yeah, and that's what you want is you want to be unique, you want to be different, you want to offer the customer, whether it's an arts and crafts show or a boutique or a brick and mortar store of whatever, you don't want to look like the next person.
Yeah.
You want to have new ideas and set yourself apart, whether it's the colors that you use or the fabrics that you use or whatever it is. You've got to find, that goes back to having that plan. What sets you apart? Don't
style.
Yeah. What's your style? And, it could be that every piece has angel wings built onto it or something it's engraved with a really cool saying. So what is your style? Figure that out before you think you can, start something big and be able to sell it.
That creates your brand basically too. So
Yeah.
doing that, you're creating your unique brand that sets yourself apart from others. And the thing is, it's always being inspired from other people. It's not that taking their idea, is that you look at a bunch of different inspirational places, you internalize it, and then you just put out somewhere. Like it's with painting. It's the same thing. Like I'm doing a painting right now. I haven't worked on it in a month or two now. But it's like I took several photos. I took photos and photos and photos, and I internalized them. And I'm like, I want to use this. 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 All these different components, and put it together to make what I'm making for myself.
There you go. I heard recently an explanation for creativity, or an example, or like cause and effect here. Creativity is a culmination of experiences and observations, combining stuff. You know, even the great works by various artists over history have, you know, they got it from somewhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, you listen to these interviews by a movie director, a musician. They'll always say, I was inspired by, this person, that person. My wife being from Hawaii, we sort of called it the Aloha spirit sometimes, is when we would go to concerts, and I'm sure that in a lot of genres of music, the Hawaiian people will say, I was inspired by so-and-so, I was inspired by them, and they made it their own music, but they were inspired by,
yes.
And so whether you're a movie director, a producer in music, Dale Chihuly, famous glass artist, was inspired by other people. He inspired, thousands of other artists. Ansel Adams, Georgia O'Keeffe, whoever it may be, inspired so many other people to make their own design, and then they inspired, and that's the one thing with I taught a class in our store on copyrights and trademarks, and the copyright industry, or in the copyright laws, I should say, were really created not to protect the artist. I mean, it was created to protect the Bible, because the Bible was being printed and printed and printed by so many people, and without having the authority to do so. But the copyright infringement laws were created to create creativity, not to hinder people from making money. It was that they wanted you to take the idea and run it and make it bigger and better. And that's why copyrights was started, really. It's
referred like that. That's really interesting.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really to protect the originator of the art or the craft, or, the product. It was to make people generally want to make something bigger and better. But now it's really there to protect, because times have changed, but that's why copyright came about, what now, 100 years ago, or whatever it's been now.
Interesting.
Yes, very. I like a history lesson. That's cool. Okay, let's see if we have any questions from the audience. Do we have any questions that have been sent or emailed in?
I was checking the mail.
Okay.
We got someone who was asking if we wanted a professional website design for us. I got one of those emails from our, and it's so weird. The weirdest thing, this email address, it's for our show, latenightcrafttalk@gmail.com, and we get spam. It's so weird. We just opened this email like 3 months ago, and we are getting spam.
I'm not surprised, honestly.
It's so
I
funny.
do so much with the internet and the emails and all that.
Pay me $1 million and I'll do this for you.
Oh yeah, that one email about that prince from Nigeria.
The show email hasn't got any solicitations from a Nigerian prince yet. I'm sorry to say, the show email, I forgot to check the spam. We haven't got any offers from a Nigerian prince.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I didn't want to tell you about that one because I was trying to keep it for myself.
Because I'll go, oh, we're doing it internationally. Though we did have a viewer who was commenting from France a few weeks ago.
Yes, we did. That was pretty cool.
Wow. That's real cool.
Yeah, we have a lot of viewers that are in Canada and all over the U.S. and some like we have someone in Indiana. We have some people in Colorado and Washington. It's all over the place. Obviously, St. Louis tonight. But yeah, so this is a really great conversation. I'm inspired. I want to like now go and start working.
Gotcha. I think because this is one of those shows we've had that's got probably, and it's definitely from the comments we're getting, got people's wheels spinning on their head. I hope they get some sleep tonight. But there's been so much food for thought, not on what specifically to do, but what's the major questions they need to ask them. They need to ask themselves, and the goal setting they need to do. Is there anything like kind of summary we want to do on this one to just kind of
okay.
do it up
Scott,
for everybody?
what are your ultimate best advice chicken nuggets to take home?
What's chicken nuggets got to do with the show tonight? Are we still branding things from Quarantinos?
Like, what are the nuggets of wisdom that you want to leave everyone with?
Wow. It's always about the food, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
What's that? Your second or third bag that you've been going through?
Yeah, he usually eats about like 20 bags.
No, like one bag, and those bags last me since 7. I like
Okay.
bags.
It's funny, like I haven't brought any food out, but like we'll compete on the like food we have.
Well, sometimes we start talking about branding and stuff like that. We'll just do it as a sight gag. Bring out the food. I did that earlier. I'm like, Savea, what are you not doing?
Oh, I know, right?
Am I the only one doing the joke here? Better. Sometimes we'll have the same Dr. Pepper, but usually it's Dr. Pepper and Pepsi on this end.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm no longer a soda drinker. Sorry.
Yeah.
I only am on Fridays to keep myself.
You're being really good. That's a good job, Scott.
I get a Pepsi a week during the show for the caffeine to keep me up.
There
So
you
I'm
go.
not doing this during the show.
Actually,
There
this
you
is
go.
a full. This is all you can see. This is a full like 32 ounces of water I've been drinking.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my water.
It's water.
Yes,
Too.
water.
Be competitive.
But no, I think real just simple nuggets. Planning, sitting down and really strategizing on what you want out of your business. Putting down the pros and cons of starting your business. Looking at simple financial numbers. How much money do I want to try to make? How many pieces I'm going to have to make to get to that level, your hours of time. And then learning, just learn as much as you can about, we didn't even start about starting the business, because starting the business, you've got so much paperwork to do with the state and the feds and all. So, I mean, that's a whole nother night of discussions. But, if you've got your business going, even if you're a day into it, or if you're 10 years into it, look at your business again, dive into the business, set a strategy, learn something new every day. Take an hour out and on Sunday night, Monday morning, whatever time you can, and learn something new in social media, website design, since somebody wants to work on your guys' website. But, just learn something new, on, go on other people's websites and see what they're doing. And you'll learn a lot from the pros and cons of what they do. And those and sign up for emails and whatever you can in the marketing world. Just search it out on the internet. Social media, what is that? And attend a local business networking group too. Chamber of Commerce, I know, costs you money to belong and things like that, and that's generally to generate business between each partner in the Chamber of Commerce. But there are local networking groups that just talk business all day long, like we're doing tonight. So, just have a plan, think it through. Don't dive into anything too fast, because it's going to cost you maybe time and energy. But, just if you've got a business for 10 years, look at it. I always say, like for a retail store, I would stand in the store, I would stand in the corner for like 10, 15 minutes and look at the store and see how people are walking around the store, see what they're picking up. You can do that if you have an arts and crafts show. Stand outside your booth and see what people are doing when they come by. So just get your mind out of the creative side for a little bit and look at it as a business. And if you take anything away from those, it'll help your business. But the planning, start with a plan, review the plan, change the plan, and unfortunately in today's world have plan B, because we could go right back into another shutdown in your state or in the United States overall, and what are you going to do for revenue? And so have plan B on what can happen, in the future.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking virus. It could be a hurricane, a tornado, an earthquake. We don't want to wish any ill will on that, but if an earthquake hit California, what would those retailers do to survive if severe damage happened? So having plan B is not a bad thing to think about.
Yeah. I definitely think another thing is be really diversified in your business model. Like really have many different levels of income streams, and try to get out there and just actually actively seek business versus letting it come to you. So you want to be just getting yourself out there, making yourself seen. I think that's really important too. Like if it's not at a craft show because of the quarantine, maybe make sure you're doing Facebook Live posts. Make sure you're posting on Instagram every day. Make sure you're posting on Facebook every day. I think that is important to consider as well, because that's important to get yourself, when you're saying building a brand, that's how you're actually really getting yourself out there as well.
Think of your local restaurants 3 months ago, got shut down on, say, a Monday. How many of them started curbside service the next day? Not too many, but curbside service came in pretty darn quick. And then you found the restaurants that were selling their product within a week or two. They were selling baskets of their fruits and vegetables and their meat. There was a deli up the street called Good Sense. It was like a Jimmy John's or Quiznos or a Firehouse Subs type of place. They, because they couldn't allow people in their place, they started selling their lunch meat by the half pound or pound or whatever in their breads.
Yeah.
So that's their plan B, plan C, plan D, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So they were thinking on their feet is, how can we do this? And I think that was so impressive by the restaurant industry to change that business model within a week. A lot of these guys were changing pretty quick. And then those that did not change probably won't survive, because it's still pretty bad in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Be willing, especially because it's a must, to adapt.
Yeah.
Like us, we started making masks.
Yeah.
Like that was like in early March. We have the fabric, we have the elastic, we have sewing machines, we have the staff that knows how to sew. And so I was thinking, oh, what if we made masks? And within the first day, we had 100 mask orders. I mean, that is like, it's insane, but just paying attention to what's going on in the world, we thought about that and applied that to our business because we could do that. And that actually really helped us during the quarantine. One of our viewers, Candace, she said that it's so true for the shutdown. That's why she's been stocking up on supplies to keep inventory and sales going during the downtime. So she's agreeing. She's saying that's definitely true. But yeah, it's being aware of what's going on with current events and really trying to think outside the box right now, because, trying to think of ways that you're going to, get your word out, because it's just different.
A lot of industries would hold conventions, whether it's the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas every year, or these big trade shows that were taking place in all these different industries, probably in the last 10 years, and the Craft and Hobby Association was one, they'd have 10, 12,000 people at their show, beating button in Milwaukee, 10, 15,000 people at their show 10 years ago. Well, now they're doing, 4 or 5,000, if that. And so hopefully those type of people were thinking of how to go about keeping their business alive. Yeah. And so many people now are doing the virtual shows. How many cities did virtual firework displays over the holiday because we couldn't come together? So you've got to think, again, plan B is important. And whether it's a virus or an earthquake or a downturn in your industry, because things are changing and they're changing quick. And we've learned a lot going through all of these, but you can't sit still, status quo. You always have to be doing something to bring that revenue in.
Sink or swim.
Sink or swim.
I'm swimming as hard as I can.
All I know is I never got the idea of square tires to catch on a vehicle, on trucks.
I think you might have to go talk to Earl about that one. Yeah. He may have some good ideas.
Earl sold me on it.
Oh. How's that working? How's that working? The square tires on your pickup.
Like driving like this. Like that. Gas mileage went down too.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Something people say that Earl and I share the same air. Okay. I think we're good. What do you think, Savannah?
Yeah, so I think this was a really great show. I think that a lot has been said, like, people seriously watch the show again. Scott is an excellent source of wisdom.
Bingo. I think, if I may, this show and then watch our show with the Crafty Chica, Kathy Connell Murillo. The two together would be outstanding advice for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just it's definitely like, so this is like, so take this home and then you can make notes on what you want to work on, and you can email Scott. He said that he would be willing to chat with you. So you got we're gonna put his email in the show notes. So
thank you for doing that, Scott. That's
and it's
no problem.
Very outgoing.
It's really a cool thing. Like, and Scott is a really great person. I've known him for years, and I'm so glad that he came on our show.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah. But so everyone, I'm so glad that you guys got to meet him. He's a really awesome person and a good friend, and I'm so glad that he could be on here.
All right.
Well, now I can go to the beach.
Okay, yeah.
You travel quick, don't you?
Yes.
Be quick, adapt or die.
He teleported, James. Did you see him? He's like, shh. And he's like, shh.
That was plan B.
Getting right there when you landed on the sand. Today, I got one of these right now, Savannah.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Okay. So as we close this show, sponsored by Quarantinos, with advice on doing this, you must ask yourself, everyone, a bandana, because Savannah doesn't have one, left it in the car. You ask yourself, a bandana or a banana. Which one works better? Though mine can be like a happy face. Well, I got advice for everybody.
You know what? I feel like I could go rob a bank.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. But, you just think yourselves a banana bandana. And there's actually a banana mask in there with the fabric.
Oh, I'll tell you. Rachel said that she said, good show. Thank you. So, and Rachel's actually, she's a bead entrepreneur. So that's kind of cool. Oh, yay.
Cool. All right. The bandana was supposed to be the last thing. We'll go back to that. And everybody, let me go back.
Okay.
All right. And with everybody, remember, brought to you by Quarantino's Banana Bandanas. Good night, everyone. Been awesome. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Oh, wait, Savannah, do we need to announce anything?
Oh, yes. So next week, we're going to have a special guest host. I'm going to have a little time off. And I was gonna say
Can I say who it is? Can I say
Christy
who it is?
Nieto, my good old pal. She's gonna be co-hosting for a little bit as a guest host. And next week, don't we have Burl?
Burl's in 2 weeks.
Oh, who's next? Oh, we're working on our guests.
Yeah.
We'll be announcing our guests soon.
We'll be announcing our guest next week. But if anybody can remembers the episode, I think it was episode number 4 or 3. I think 3. We had Christy on.
She's a lot of fun. You guys are gonna love.
There was absolute fireworks
We were
on that
laughing
episode.
so hard at
It
that.
went-
episode.
It went whoo. It took off. So you want
Yes.
to see the fun again? She's back. So she'll be our special guest host the next couple of weeks.
Yes, yes. So yay!
Hoorah. All right.
Thanks for watching
Everyone,
today.
Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next week. Just remember, bandana, or banana. And with that, closing credits. Closing credits.